Hello and welcome back to my channel. It's been 4 weeks since the challenge started and I have some updates for y'all. I've been completing my routines consistently. Now there has been days where I'm just like, I don't want to get out of bed or I don't want to go for a walk. But I realized the importance of self-discipline. When there were moments where I'm just like, I don't want to do this, my body would literally just go through the motions of doing it. And after I'm like, I did it, it's done. So I realized that because I've been consistent and that self-discipline has been added on top of it, it's just like a top tier combination. I am working on shifting my perspective again to instead of I don't want to I get to. That was my perspective in the beginning of the challenge where I was like, I get to do, take care of my body. I get to do that. But then there was like a period where everything just felt so mundane and slow, and I just felt like I was like sinking into a routine, which is a good thing, but I was just like, I need some variety. Even the way I edit my videos has changed. Like I have a little ritual that I do before I start, and it has made me want to edit even more. Normally I would just, after I completed my morning routine, I would just hop into my work day. But I realized that setting the atmosphere was actually really good for me. It boosted my mood a little bit, which is how I actually got into romanticizing my life a bit more. I think because I started that little ritual of what I do before my workday, it just inspired me to want to romanticize my life in the tiniest bit of ways. I know I started solo dating, and maybe that was like the domino effect of spending quality time with myself. I started romanticizing my life more. I am prioritizing myself first, and it feels so good, and I feel less shame about doing so. I started saying no to things that I don't want to do, which feels so good. There's a lot of feeling good going on here. I've been learning to focus on feeling good. That's why I've been feeling good recently. Although I'm going to be feeling great before the end of this challenge. But just focusing on moving through those heavier emotions and remaining in control and empowered, and choosing thoughts that serve me better, and choosing thoughts that make me feel good and make me feel like in love with life and all that jazz, over feeling like a victim and just continue old thought patterns that no longer serve me, that I don't want to claim, that I don't want to be my reality anymore. I want to say, a bit of a wake-up call where I was just so sick and tired. I felt so horrible. Now, it doesn't happen often. Usually I'm in a state of neutrality where my baseline is just kind of neutral, and whenever it shifts, I do notice that. And I think what I've been working on was figuring out how to combat those thoughts where I kind of spiral a bit. I know I can flip them. Sometimes flipping my thoughts doesn't come automatic. So I've just been trying to figure out what works and just think like, oh, everything in my life is great, or everything in my life is perfect. Lately, I have been rethinking about how I want to approach this challenge. I had the idea of doing this challenge with the focus of manifesting all of my desires, all of my major goals before the year ends, which is good. But I also realized that less is more. Actually had a random thought of that, which had me thinking further into this. So my current affirmation playlist that I mentioned at the beginning of this challenge has over 30 videos in it, and it's about 20 hours long, which is super long, but I have it sped up so I can get 1 to 2 repetitions per day, waking hours. Since the focus of this challenge is self-concept, I figured it would be better to go general rather than specific, because specific is a lot to focus on and I want to get in as many repetitions as possible, which is why I am redoing my playlist. I will keep my playlist because I like it and it has all the beliefs that I want on it, but I am going to make a new playlist and I have strict rules about it. It's going to be less than 5 hours. 5 hours is the maximum I can go for. I want to get in as many repetitions as possible so that I can reprogram my subconscious mind better. I used to have this belief that working on self-concept would slow my manifestations down, which it actually has the opposite effect, because when you're grounded within yourself and confident and you know that what is yours, already yours, then you won't question your desire. I'm changing my perspective on self-concept because I really thought about how good I felt whenever I did self-concept work. I felt calmer around my desires. I felt more confident. I even went to bed early. Like, there used to be a time where my sleep schedule was so sporadic. Like, it was dark times. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. It was dark times. But now we're here. I have a bedtime. I like it. I stick to it. And it's all good. But because I have been focusing so much on feeling good, I want to continue that. And I want to stop feeling anxious about my desires, and I want to stop questioning them, which I can do that now. It'll be easier with a solid self-concept. And working on my self-concept doesn't take away from my desires, because it's making me feel good and it makes me feel good about having what I want, and it helps me focus more. I'm going to combine the self-concept playlist with some focus affirming sessions, probably like 10 minutes. I'll do the 10-minute method that Sammy Ingram actually talked about because I like it. It's short and sweet and I can go about my day. My goal right now is to start establishing trust within myself and to really put a halt to seeking external validation and just going within. I started becoming more conscious of when I'm seeking external validation. I'm working on a system that'll help me go within instead of look for external validation. I think being conscious of when I'm doing it is a good step. All the answers are within. I just need to trust that I do have the answers. I have what I'm looking for. This challenge has been really eye-opening in ways that I didn't really think would happen, which I'm kind of glad that I wasn't able to predict all these realizations so far. It feels really good to surprise myself in this way. One last thing, I started becoming more proactive rather than reactive. I'm learning a lot about myself and my capabilities. I am realizing that I have the capacity to think more positively than negatively, and it felt strange at first because I was bombarding my mind with a lot of positive thoughts, and whenever I would take a break from my playlist, I noticed that I still had positive thoughts, and when I would spiral, it was kind of hard to continue spiraling because I would just want to choose more positive thoughts and to really just not play into old habits. I'm starting to get used to a positive state of being as my default rather than a negative one, and even just continuing old circumstances and just playing into them. We're stopping cycles. It's just so good, and it feels good to feel good. My goal this month of September is to actually raise my base level frequency. There's like a frequency chart. The level I want to raise it to is contentment. That's what I'm going to work on for the month of September. I will definitely keep y'all updated, but that's all for now. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.